Hi, I'm outside the Virginia Holocaust Museum. I'm standing in front of a German boxcar, cattle car that was used to transport Jews. I just took some high school students through this museum, and of course they are very moved and overwhelmed by the magnitude of the Holocaust. And the great thing, I mean, any Holocaust museum is difficult, but what I do appreciate about them and about Holocaust literature, which I always have my students read, is because learning about culture and about the worst part of a culture is so informative. It's a good experience to think through how base human nature is, what life is like when somebody is completely overtaken by evil and the desire to do harm to other people. And it's very impactful to see the progression that evil takes. And so the museum itself takes you through the beginning, the 1930s, and the rise of Nazism in Germany, and follows the Jewish experience through to the establishment of the Israel State in 1948, to the Nuremberg trials, and ending with rooms of remembrance where people can process and read and watch stories of survivors. We have a large Jewish community here in Richmond. A lot of Jews came here after the Holocaust and settled and became prominent members of our society, and so they have established this Holocaust Museum and have funded it, and we saw a lot of video, a lot of personal testimony, of course, a ton of photographs, which are all very difficult to see, about the scope of the Jewish experience during this time period. And I think cultural experiences like these are change makers in the way that we see social justice, the way that we see religion, the way that we see faith, and how people lose their faith during trauma and tragedy, and the way that other people grow in their faith, and the amount of good that can come out of an evil time period, I think, is, to me, very redemptive, and of course speaks of the redemption and the restoration that can happen through Christ. But the human spirit surviving is certainly worth the time and energy to study and learn about the things that happen in our cultures when everything gets out of balance. So I highly encourage you to do something of this nature. We have a Holocaust Museum in DC close by, which is phenomenal. This one is much smaller, but it does a great job of portraying this problem and making people aware that we can't just pretend like these things didn't happen. We have to learn from history. That's why history is an important part of culture. And so as a teacher, the Holocaust is always an important part of my teaching experience. We read literature, and we talk through it, we talk through the cultural norms of the day and how this kind of thing is still happening even in our country, how Nazism is on the rise, how prejudice and bigotry and fear and self-survival all play into this issue of discrimination, and even to the point of annihilation of people or people's way of life, so that basically I can feel better about myself and I can feel safer in the way that I want to think and in my ideologies. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.